All right, sorry about that. I got a telephone call in the middle of this vid. It's funny because old girl that was calling me while I was really about to go, you know, 10 fathoms deep, if you will, is oh shit, that's funny. I had to put my joint on airplane mode, man. Fuck all that. You can't stop the flow. You feel me? You can't stop the rain from falling. You can't stop the rain. Fuck all that. Shit. When these waters get to flowing, they get out the way. Get out the way. What I was saying though, got me out of the mood, out of the spirit. All right. But a lot of parallels and a lot of metaphors in the Bible, in particular, when God is speaking of the city of Jerusalem as a woman or as a bride, if you will, and when he's speaking of the city of Babylon as a woman or a whore, I find some interesting correlations with our modern everyday American black woman, our Western black woman, if you will. When in the Bible, when God is speaking pleasingly to the woman, he's referring to her as Jerusalem or as a bride. But when he's really, castigating her and scolding her, he's referring to her. And when she's in full whore mode, he's referring to her as Babylon. So I mean, I don't know. You listen. You gotta read it and connect the dots yourself. This is just my interpretation. Now I know a couple brothers out here because I'm seeing an upswing of atheism out here, or an upswing of the Bible is a white man's book and discredit the Bible, this, that, and the third, yada yada yada. Take it up the ass like Job. Look, about that, because Job is like one of my favorite books in the Bible. Who is this who darkens my counsel with words without knowledge? That shit go hard, man. It goes hard. But about that Job thing, man. Because his ways are not our ways and his thoughts are not our thoughts. So some of the things that God does, we can't comprehend it. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the capacity to comprehend some of the things that he's doing and the motives behind what he's doing. You feel me? It's kind of like you got a child and you tell your child to do something, but your child don't comprehend why you telling him or her to do this certain thing, but that it's in the best interest of the child, but the child can't wrap his mind around how is this gonna benefit him or her. You know what I'm saying? So always keep that in mind, man, when you're talking about God, man, because some of the things that he do is beyond your scope of understanding. And if you are humble enough, he will reveal it. He will reveal his understanding to you at a later date, and you'll be thinking back about some shit that went down 5-10 years ago, and it'll just hit you like straight out the blue. And you'll be like, oh, so that's what it is. Okay. But about that, about Job though, just real quick. I'm gonna try to make this quick because I really want to get into these uh, these precepts. But about Job, man, Job, he had a lot of afflictions upon him that wasn't done to him by God per se, but was allowed by God. Now, Job was a righteous man. Was a righteous man, and God, I don't know everything. I don't proclaim to be, in the council of the Most High. I don't claim to be like I'm Moses and like he comes down from the sky and talks to me face to face or some shit. You feel me? You know, I'm nobody special. I'm just a a regular person trying to give my take on things. But anyway, Job, he was a righteous man, but if you read the book of Job and you go in depth with it, you'll see that his children and his wife were, for lack of a better term, wicked. His children were engaging in practices that they had not, that they had not have been practicing. And his wife was a instigator, trying to instigate Job to blaspheme God. So the greater scheme of things, from my understanding, is that God allowed these afflictions to come upon Job to refine Job. You know what I'm saying? Because, Job was a righteous man surrounded by wicked people. And he might have been too righteous to, cleanse or purge his circle of evil. So God had to do it. God could have seen, several years down the line that, these affiliations with these wicked people could eventually turn Job down the path of wickedness. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the most deleterious, can I use that in this context, are the most wicked or toxic people in your life are those of your very family. Your wife and I dare say your children. I liken it to a flower in the garden, right? This may be a beautiful flower with a lovely aroma, vibrant colors and whatnot. But then guess what? Guess what springs up around it? Some weeds, some pollen dripping, ugly, itchy looking weeds. Now you being the gardener, you taking care of this flower, you watering it, giving it nutrients. If you're a real earthy type of person, you might even talk to it, you feel me? I heard they say if you have conversations with your plants, it help them grow. I don't know. I know it's some brother right now talking to a pot with some marijuana seeds in it and shit. Like, yeah, you gonna be that gas. Yes, you are. Oh, shit. Anyway, let me get back on track. But as you're giving this beautiful flower sustenance, guess what? These weeds are receiving the same sustenance as well. So when you watering this flower, you're also watering them weeds. Now those weeds are unworthy, excuse me, of the sustenance in which you're giving them. So what do you do as a gardener? You pull those weeds out, you prune those weeds so that, the growth of this flower can be uninhibited. So all the nutrients that you pour on that plot of soil, all those nutrients can be relegated to said flower. And in my opinion, how I see it, in my eyes, that's how I seen, what God essentially did with Job. Job was a flower in the midst of weeds. Now God not only, struck down his wife and his kids and whatnot, but he also afflicted his pockets. He killed some of it, he killed his cattle off and this, that, and the third. Now, we don't know the backdrop behind that. Like, Job could have been tied up in some business practices with some real, underhanded, evil type of people. And those cattle could have, those cattle or whatnot could have been tied to a wicked man. So God came down and just wiped the slate clean, Well, let me go ahead and just strike all these cattle down so Job won't be, connected to this person or tied or bound to this person. And then on the back end, I'm gonna bless him tenfold so he can start fresh. So he won't be bound to any wicked man, woman, or child. You feel me? That's just my take on that. All right, now let me get to the how you say, the main course, the main entree, if you will, of this video. I know a lot of people like to say the meat, but come on, let's, we're switching it up. You feel me? It's the remix. Now, this particular verse that came to mind as it pertains to the correlation between it and the black community, ergo the black woman, is Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter, verse 17 through 19. Verse 17 reads, Hast thou not procured this unto thyself? Let me interject right there. Basically, what that line is saying is basically saying, you brought this on yourself. You brought this on yourself. as Martin used to say on the show, on the Martin show back in the 90s, you brought this on yourself. Anyway, all right. In that thou hast forsaken the Lord thy God. Now let me read this in full. Hast thou not procured this unto thyself? In that hast forsaken the Lord thy God, when he lead thee by the way. What I take from that is basically, as it pertains to the black man and the black woman, this is essentially, from a metaphorical standpoint, the black man talking to the black woman. As far as the black manosphere is concerned, we call out black female fuckery all day. And we tell these heifers, listen, all this shit you complaining about, you essentially brought it on yourself. And you brought it on yourself because you forsaken the good, decent, upstanding brothers in your community. These brothers who have led you by the way. Verse 18. Now I'm not gonna read all of 18. I just want to zero in on this line from verse 18 because It really points to some things that are going on today as far as the Hotep crowd is concerned. And now what hast thou to do in the way of Egypt? To drink the waters of Sihor? Now, what you see in today, you know, the black woman has forsaken her man, if you will, her God, if you will. She has forsaken her man, and now she is taking on this altar of this ethereal Kemetic goddess, if you will. Now she's saying, "Oh no, you know, I'm not gonna come to the table and, you know, what God say, come now, let us reason together. I'm not gonna come to the table and reason with you. I'm gonna go to this other culture over here, you know, this Kemetic shit, and I'm gonna delve into that and then use that to further propagate my bullshit as you know, Cleopatra or Nefertiti, you know what I'm saying? Cleopatra coming at you." Y'all remember that song for the mid to late 90s? Oh shit. Monado on some real. Verse 19. And this verse right here is real key. This is real key because this right here is why this verse is persona non grata to the reason why I'm SYSBM until the world blow up. You feel me? Thine own wickedness shall correct thee, and thy backsliding shall reprove thee. Stop right there. All of the fuckery, all of the bullshit, unting that these women are engaging in, it's gonna calibrate itself. They're gonna get their, how you say, upcomings. You know what I'm saying? I don't even argue with these bitches. Pardon my French. But I don't argue with these bitches when they get to talking about, yeah, the reason why we chose thugs is because y'all niggas didn't assert yourselves. Y'all was too lame. You feel me? And you know, your swag wasn't on 10. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have 150s on your feet. Where your True Religion jeans at, boo-boo? You still riding the Metro. Where your car at? You supposed to have some Dana Danes on them things. What is you talking about? Shit, a bitch need her hair and nails done. Shit. I don't argue with them when they go down that path, man. I don't. Because this verse right here just lets me know, thy own wickedness shall correct thee, and thy backsliding shall reprove thee. That's why, you know, in Chronicles of Judah 144 spoke about this in one of his latest videos, Black Women Correcting Other Black Women, Volume 2, something like that. Go to that main channel, check out his catalog. It's in there. You'll get what I'm saying. But he was saying you're seeing a uptick in older women in their latter 30s, early 40s, starting to come forward and really testify that, you know, back in the day when they was young, they not again. All right. Back in the day, you know, when everything was perky and sitting up right, that they had a real solid shot at a real solid guy, and they fucked it up. You know what I'm saying? Might have been that brother who, you know, wasn't swagged out or whatever, but you know, he had a 3.5 GPA, got a couple scholarships to local university and shit. And you know, he had a little charisma to him to where he can make old girl laugh and shit. And she really liked him, but she wanted it all. She wanted more. You feel me? So she got with the local miscreant who came to school. Nigga didn't never have a backpack with him. If he had a backpack, he ain't had no books in it. You know what I mean? He was a motherfucker in the class beating on the tables with pencils and pens and shit, freestyling and shit. You know what I'm saying? Let me stop because I used to do that shit. Oh, some real shit though, especially in the lunchroom. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't real if you ain't hip hop, man, if you ain't never freestyle over a beat that was made by a hand, a pen, and a table. Straight like that. But anyway, and then she got with the ruffian, got knocked up with a couple babies. 10 years later, she see old Dexter, who, you know, who was kind of cute, made her laugh, and went off to college and shit. Oh, now he got him another thing on his arm. And he bubbling, you feel me? But anyway, you know, so it's a lot of women out here that's they giving up the ghost. They giving up the ghost. They saying, fuck it, I'm tired of being strong and independent and don't need no man. I'm just gonna tell it like it is. When I was young, I was on some fuck shit. And now I'm old and goddamn it, I'm paying for it. Like it says right here. Thy own wickedness shall correct thee, and thy backslidings shall reprove thee. That's why I for real don't even really be stressing over them like that. Because it'll work itself out. It'll work itself out. I've seen it too many times. Know therefore and see that it is a wicked thing and bitter that thou hast forsaken the Lord God, and that my fear is not in thee, saith the Lord God of hosts. It's basically saying, look, and this goes out to all you swirlers too. Word life, man. Word life. Y'all up here talking cash shit about the brother man. It says it right here. It's an evil thing, and it's bitter. When you don't have respect, reverence, and fear for your man. You know, sometimes fear is a good thing. You know? Sometimes fear get your ass out of a pinch. You know? You walking up to a house late at night. You think about you think about burglarizing this house. Well, all of a sudden, you hear a dog hit that fence and get to yelping at your ass, and that sharp sense of fear hits you real quick. You're like, oh shit, you know what? Let me not fuck with this house. You know what I'm saying? So fear could be a good thing, man. And these heifers, man, with this, I'm strong and independent, I don't need no man, and that's another reason why I wanted to make this video. Because this whole scissor shit. Man, I think that bitch needs to change her motherfucking name for real. You know, because low key she really trying to ride the wave of RZA and Jizza from the Wu-Tang Clan. Like, bitch, You ain't down with the 36 chambers. The fuck you talking about? So now every time somebody say RZA or Jizza, now you gotta think about SZA. You feel me? But I'm like, all right, yeah, popping all this shit about how black women don't need men anymore and this, that, and the third. And you know what? You know what? You know what? She's right. She's right. She's right. They don't. They need protection. They call it drone. Or the police. They go to police. She needs provisions. She got Big Daddy government. This is truly her queendom. This shit is hers, man. This is her shit. When she is given carte blanche to operate unabated, this is the result. This is the result. It's a sad thing, but it's a beautiful thing at the same time. I pray that generations from now, hundreds of years from now, will document this and look back on this. And 200-300 years from now, and goddamn 2218 or 2318 and shit. When them bitches and the futuristic bitches get to trying to rise up and shit, talking about we want to be strong and independent. Point back, because circa 2018, when y'all bitches had a carte blanche to run roughshod and operate unabated in the community, this is the shit y'all fuck. This is the fuck shit y'all bitches was on. So please sit down, shut the fuck up. You know, get the and bitches, it's 2318. You ain't even gotta wash dishes no more. We got robots and shit, like the bitch, like the motherfucker from the Jetsons and shit. You feel me? Fuck you talking about? What is you complaining for? You feel me? Shit. So yeah, I pray that future generations, man, to use this shit as for documentation purposes, man. Because this is the result of when of a queendom. Yeah, I said it. So for all you suck ass cuck boy simps out there talking about the black woman is queen, the black woman is God. This is her queendom. This is her rule. Here it is. It's right there. So yeah, you know, SZA was right. They don't need us. They don't. You know? And I gather strength from the Jeremiah, you know, 2nd chapter, 19th verse, which reads, "Thy own wickedness shall correct thee, and thy backsliding shall reprove thee." So yeah, you can get to popping all that shit. You can get to popping all that the feminist rhetoric and shit. But bitch, I know how to. You know, I've seen this movie before. I've seen it. I've seen this movie before, and the sequel, and the trilogy. I know how it ends. Let me give you some context to that statement. My mother is one of 15. I repeat, my mother is one of 15. My grandmother had 9 daughters. My mother is in. My mother was one of the oldest out of the children, so she's in, approaching senior citizen levels now. She's older. I'm 30. I'm in my 30s. I mean, she had me when she was 30. So, because she was a career woman. She was ambitious. She had to get on that grind. You feel me? Gotta get my masters. She ain't got her masters, but I just think that shit's funny when he say it like that. Cause I could just imagine one of these chicks just rubbing their hands together. Say, I gotta get my masters. Shout out to the old man. But yeah. And I've seen it all, man. In my family alone, I've seen it all. Like what's he Boogie talk about? The matriarchal psychosis. Shit, you can write 2 clinical psychology books on the matriarchal psychosis just by using my family, my mother's side of the family, as a reference alone. And I see this shit from Big Mama on down. I got second cousins that are in their early 20s now, operating in the same manner. And I'm looking at them, and we get to family gatherings and shit, you feel me? And I'm talking to them, and I'm trying to drop red pills in the conversation ever so slightly, because I know, if I go too hard in the paint, motherfuckers gonna jump on me. So I gotta kind of be, I gotta kind of go in cloak mode and get on my predator shit and drop that shit in ever so slightly. Excuse me. But I'm looking at my younger cousins. I'm talking about my second cousins, the daughters of my first cousins. I got first cousins that's early 40s, mid 40s and shit. And they got daughters now that are 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old and shit. And they on the same shit. I'm like, you don't see what your auntie was on? You don't see what your great aunties are on? Like, you don't see this shit coming? Real shit though, man. You would think. I mean, you would think that all of the documentation that we have of these failed practices and failed philosophies, as far as it pertains to the woman, you would think that these bitches would get their motherfucking act together by now. Niggas back in the 90s was getting locked up left and right for selling drugs. Motherfuckers in the late 90s, early 2000s seen that shit and they said, shit, nigga, I'll be damned if I get locked down for a goddamn dime, behind some white powder and shit. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna flip it some more, I'm gonna flip my hustle another way. Fuck you talking about? I mean, I'm just saying, chicks, y'all gotta tweak this shit at least a little bit. At least brothers back when when they started changing the laws on crack and they was giving harsher sentences for crack as opposed to white powder cocaine and shit. At least the drug dealers had sense enough to say, you know what? I'm not gonna deal with the crack shit. I'm not gonna sell the crack shit. I'm not gonna, cause I don't want to get caught up. with that butter. You feel me? So I'm gonna deal strictly with powder. You feel me? You know, I'm dealing with that straight drop. I ain't even fucking with that butter. You feel me? Brothers see that shit and they tweak they fucking. Now I'm using that as a metaphor. I'm not advocating drug selling or anything of that nature, unsundry. But I'm using that as a metaphor. But these chicks just keep doing the same shit. You know, it's kind of like, you know, when you playing a video game and shit, you know, for my 80s babies, you playing Super Mario Brothers or Sonic the Hedgehog and shit, and you get to this stage, you feel me? And you steady trying to do this one thing to continue to complete the stage, but what you're doing is clearly not working. But while you're still trying to jump over this fucking little ravine or whatever, and you're charging up your supersonic burst so you can get some speed and jump, and it's clearly not working. But guess what? At the same time, at the top of the middle of the screen and shit, you still got that time bar that's going. And when you know you running out of time, when that up tempo music kick in, I can't even remember. You, if you from my gym, man, you know the music I'm talking about. But you know when that music come on and them numbers get to clicking down, you know you best get on your good foot. And you know, as far as I see it in my eyes, shit, that music been playing for these black women to get their motherfucking act together, and they still are so fucking stubborn. They will not get off the fuck shit. They won't. They won't. I know this term gets thrown around and motherfuckers like to throw this shit around left and right, but you know, and kind of diluted and shit, because everybody starts saying this shit. It really don't hold any weight anymore because you got stupid motherfuckers saying this shit. Anyway, you know, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. These women are insane. They're insane. They've been doing the same shit, not just for years, but for decades. Not just for decades, but for generations. My grandmother, bless her heart, she is the most demure, soft-spoken, regal woman that I know in my life. She is, if you speak to her, it's, you know, I don't want to pump her up too much, but it's really like you speaking to a queen. A real congenial, demure queen who's not, you know, trying to lord her power over you, but it's like, what's that one movie? That one movie, I think it's Alice in Wonderland. Then, you know, you had the you had the red queen and the white queen. And the red queen is like your stereotypical black woman, just brash and entitled and with the big head and shit. But then the white queen is like walking around on her tippy toes, all soft-spoken and shit. You feel me? If y'all see that new remake, all right, that's how my grandmother act, man. Like she speak to you, she ain't gotta, you know, raise her voice. She, you know, we'll be outside at a function, you know, some nephews and uncles get to arguing and shit start to get heated. and we about to be like, well, fuck it then. We can go up the street on this rock road and get throwing hands, nigga. What's happening? What you talking about? My grandmother come by. Excuse me. Y'all need to calm down. Everybody, you can hear a pin drop. Niggas is drunk off their mind off of moonshine and yak and everything. Tensions running high because the niggas cheating and goddamn dominoes and shit. and getting ready to come to blows and shit. And here she comes. She just float in, and everything just go down. Is she perfect? No, no, she's not. But she has learned over the years on where her true strength lies. And she wields that strength very effectively. I went all the way off course, but yeah. I got a lot of younger cousins and shit. They don't get it. And they got examples. Cause some of my older aunties and whatnot, they get it. My grandma, she done wised up. She gets it. My mother, she's gotten older now. She's been, living in the burbs for, oh my God, some decades now. And she's, her best friend right now is like some Mexican chick from the suburbs and shit. You feel me? So they gallivant around the country and shit, having fun and whatnot. So she's been exposed to different cultures, and she knows, my mom knows that a lot of the shit that she came up on is some bullshit. And a lot of the shit that we're on today is some bullshit. And I got a couple other aunties that really see the, they see the forest. But I got some aunties that's goddamn ride or die with the fuck shit. They ride or die. They black female fuckery until the goddamn casket drop. Now I know a lot of y'all talking about why he saying goddamn and he was just quoting Bible scriptures. I'm saying got, motherfucker. G-O-T. Got damn. Alright? Let's just, let me throw that out there. Goddamn. Shit. G-O-T. But yes, I'm saying, man, I'm telling you, some of my aunties need to have black female fuckery inscribed on their tombstone. They so 10 toes with the shit. It's fucking ridiculous. Man. And there's some personal shit that's going on right now. I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, this shit run deep, man. But yeah, though. Basically, the main point that I want to drive home is thy own wickedness shall correct thee, and thy backsliding shall reprove thee. So, we get turned up on these videos, and we crack jokes, and we roast these heifers and black female fuckery, and spinster this, and linebacker back having that bit that, fat back, jelly back, hair hatted hooligan this, and fucking how they say over there, BT 1000 that, BT 1100. We talk cash shit, man. In the black manosphere, we talk cash shit about these chicks, but yeah, man, this shit gonna fix itself, man. This shit gonna recalibrate itself. And I see it every day. I see chicks, man, who know that they've been fucking up. Oh shit, let me turn this alarm off. I'm up before the alarm. And if this motherfucker get the blaring in my ear and shit while I'm trying to make this vid, boy. But, Yeah, man, I see these chicks, man. You know, you got two factions of chicks. I mean, actually, you got like three, for real, for real. One of the factions don't know what's going on. They're just oblivious. They're just automatons. They're just going with the flow. Then the second faction that you have, they know what's going on and they see what's coming down the pike, and they're trying to reverse engineer their personality to be more amenable to their counterpart, that being the black man. And then you have the third faction. They're all in. They are all in. They're saying, fuck it. It's black female fuckery today, tomorrow, and to the world blow up. You feel me? They with the shit. And in some cases, I don't even pay them heifers no mind. Because when I come across a black chick that's just overtly jaded and just overtly hostile for really relatively no reason, because I myself have had no personal interactions with her prior to our current engagement and whatnot, but it's clear that she has some sort of animosity for the black male archetype. I know that, you know, there's several variables at play there. Maybe she's, and I get this a lot too, I do. Maybe she's too unattractive. You know, she's put on way too many pounds, or aesthetically her face isn't as attractive. So she knows in her mind that, hell, a brother like me, because, not to toot my own horn, but to be humble at the same time, I'm an 8 on the scale, you feel me? I get chose by bitches all the time, you feel me? All the time. I know the signs. I know when a chick is digging me. I pick up on them cues. But and I also pick up on them cues when a chick know that I'm out of her league. And she like, fuck being nice. You out of my league, so I'ma spit venom anyway. It ain't like I can get you anyway, so I might as well take a dig at you. You feel me? I might as well give you bad customer service, nigga. I might as well walk by you and say some shit under my breath to try to, you know, cut you deep on the subconscious level. That's another, man, let me tell you this quick story, man. Swear to God, man. I'm in Bedford Heights, Ohio. I believe it's a suburb or a terrace of Cleveland. It's like on the southeast side of Cleveland. I walked to this gas station, right? Now, in this gas station, I'm standing in line. The line was long. I'm just trying to get me some tobacco, buy me a cup of fruit, and a fountain drink, you feel me? But while I was standing in line, my whole thing in there was a microcosm of what I just laid down of those three type of black women. The ones who don't know, the ones who do know, and the ones who do know, you feel me? So I get in there, right? I'm walking around, I'm getting my fountain drink, older black woman. Now I'm in my early to mid 30s, you feel me? Older black woman, she had to be in early 40s, maybe mid 40s. And she had a little work uniform on and shit. And you know when a bitch trying to get your attention, she'll walk in your line of sight, walk past your line of sight several times, look at you a few times, even though you ain't looking at her. She'll walk in your line of sight, like you could be looking down, preparing your beverage and shit, but she'll walk to where you could, like all you gotta do is raise your eyes up and she right there. And she'll look at you And, you know, when you get that feeling of somebody looking at you, you'll look up and see who's looking at you. But yeah, this chick was, you know, she knew what was going on, and she was like, "It's something about this brother. I don't know what it is about him, but I need to get to know him." You know, she gets it. She knows what's going on. She sees the red pill landscape, and she sees that niggas ain't going no more. Niggas see the fuck shit, and we ain't going for the fuck shit no more. So, you know, she was trying to, you know, use her feminine wiles to gain my attention. But, you know, I kept it pushing. I get to the line, I'm in line, same thing. Younger chick, younger than her. I mean, she's probably around my age for real. Trying to do things like, you know, stick her ass out, and, you know, she was in front of me in line, a couple spaces and shit. But you know what they do, man. When they want to get your attention, they start talking loud and shit. You feel me? They start talking loud and to get eyeballs on them. That's one thing that these black chicks do, man. When they want eyes on them, they'll get to talking loud. You feel me? Or if an attractive dude or a desirable dude step into the function and they want to get his attention, they'll start talking loud. They'll even, you know, do some other shit. That's if they think they got a shot. If they think they got a shot, if they think they got at least something that this dude can be attracted to and holler at him with, they'll, you know, y'all brothers in the field, y'all know the tactics, man. But that's really not what I want to talk about. And the cashier, man, she was while I was in line, you know, I felt her looking at me a couple times. I look up, she was looking dead at me. And then as soon as I make eye contact with her, she'll look away real quick. She was a heavier set black woman. Obviously, she was, you know, kind of ghetto for lack of a better term. But, you know, if she lose the weight, she, you know, she had a cute face. Like, her face wasn't beat like that for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of these chicks really ain't ugly, man. Like, we got some beautiful women. For real, for real. We got some beautiful women. It's just a lot of times that weight, man. That weight. Like, if she can just do something about that weight, tighten her shit up, I don't know, diet and exercise, yeah, I don't know. Like, she could be working with something. Take the blue weave out her head and shit. But, you know, I got to the line and she checked me out and shit. And, you know, she was real, you know, she basically melted, man. You know, some of these chicks give me attitude, man. These customer service chicks, they give me attitude. But some of them, even the most ghettoest ones that I know they ghetto, and they know I know they ghetto, some of them melt. Because they be like, shit, I really want this nigga. I know what's going on, so let me be on my best behavior. But on the subconscious level, I know that they're putting on the act. They haven't had enough time. Like they're trying to change course, man, at the last minute. You feel me? It's the 11th hour and they're trying to do a complete 180. It's like, you know, I applaud you for your effort, but I know that you don't have the experience, the cultural training and experience to really sustain this type of behavior. So I know you're eventually gonna revert back to your, you know, your base programming. But I do appreciate the effort, though. You know. And for the most part, I keep it real business, like with these chicks, these cashiers and customer service. I'm real business. I'm real formal with them. But when I do see, you know, that they are giving some effort to reverse the course of action, I will in some ways reward them socially to let them know. Because, you know, one thing, this is a war over hearts and minds. And some brothers, man, They so red pill that they can't see an opportunity to flip somebody from the other side. You know what I mean? When you see a mark that's susceptible of being flipped, you gotta take that, man. You gotta take that opportunity. You see a chick, you know she ghetto, you know deep down she ratchet, but she's trying, she's earnestly trying to be demure. You gotta reward her. I'm not saying you gotta get her number and slide with her and give her some dick on the low. I'm saying ask her how her day is. Give her a social reward of a, for lack of a better term, a doggy treat, if you will. Like this chick, you know, she was really on her best behavior, and I noticed it, and I said, "So how's your day going?" She said, "Oh, it's going good," and that really meant a lot to her. That was me letting her know that, hey, I see you giving a good old college try. You ain't there yet, but you on your way. And she had to been about early 20s, maybe mid 20s. You know, 5 years from now, that impression that I made on her, that could really amount to something. And it could have really affected her to where 5 years down the line, she done really revamped and rebuilt herself. And now we got a good black woman out here to deal with. But some brothers are so fucking red pill that they just bull in the china shop with all these bitches. So even the ones that's trying to break through, you know, they come across a stern red pill motherfucker. And they like, shit, it just confirmed it for me. Niggas ain't shit. Even when I try to be on my best behavior, these niggas ain't shit, bitch. What the fuck you mean? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Brothers got to be more tactful out here, man. Cloaking. You got to move, man. I'm going to show you how to move in a room full of vultures, though. You feel me? Ah, shit. Hold up. Let me spark this motherfucker. But yeah, though, man, goddamn, it's damn near hour vid, man. Let me go ahead and get off of this, man. I need to go ahead and punch in, man. You feel me? Fred Flintstone shit, yabba dabba do, motherfucker. You feel me? But yeah, though, it's Benjamin D'Souza. Babylon must fall. Her slain is a mighty throng. Like, share, and subscribe. You can contact me at onepeople, one nation, one destiny at gmail.com.